tonight's meeting to order. Roll call, please, Lisa.
Mrs. Philippa?
Here.
Ms. Burnett?
Here.
Ms. Lynch? Here. Mr. Merritt? Mr. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Prather? Mr. Rose?
Here.
Mr. Schreck? Mr. Smith?
Here.
Okay, stand for the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'd like to make note of executive session, September 28th, 2020 for potential litigation, and October 19th, 2020 for personnel, student discipline, and real estate. At this time, is there any public comments regarding tonight's agenda? All right, then we'll move on to student representatives. Meadville Area Senior High School, do you want to get them, Con?
Yep, I'm sorry about that.
That's all right, it's
Time.
Adam
Meadville.
Duffy and Tiffany
Right
O'Neill.
there.
Good evening. So I'm Adam Duffy from the high school, and you know we just came back from our online learning for 2 days. From what I've heard from just asking students around that, it seemed to go very well. Our plans to make a less paper oriented learning environment worked very well, and things were on Canvas, and students were able to get in and then do their assignments and get out. So that seemed to work very smoothly. In terms of sports, our football team is doing very well. Phoebe Templin just won District 10 for women's golf, I think, and girls volleyball. Their season is ending very well, and the soccer season has just ended. In terms of the music, we are doing our best with the restrictions that are placed upon us. The marching band just had their home show, which went very well and very smoothly with a very large audience. In the school, French Club has just started. They have gotten their T-shirts as they do, and the eco people are working to beautify the courtyard in the high school by using trees and just making other decorations to make a better school environment. We have lots of hand sanitizer all over, and students are still trying their best to maintain social distancing and wash their hands frequently and use hand sanitizer when they need it. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Adam. Next is Cochranton Junior Senior High School, Michelle Decker and Jaden Rodax.
Hi, I'm Jaden Rodax from Cochranton. Our football record is 0-7. We play Mercer on Friday, it's our last game. Girls volleyball record is 9-1. We play Corey on Tuesday and Meadville on Thursday. We're co-champs in region with Sagertown, and we hosted a pink out for breast cancer awareness, and we lost the game, but we raised a lot of money. And our cross-country record is 8-2, districts at Titusville on Saturday. The band had their last competition for the season at home on Saturday.
Our STEM Academy conducted an internal field trip that went really well. First, they did a Lost at Sea activity where they had to scale the importance of 15 items if they had been stranded on a boat. Then they played a defusing bomb game where they were in partners. One had the instructions of how to defuse the bomb, and there was one that could see the bomb. The STEM Academy is doing a drone project this year. In preparation for this, they bought cheap drones to practice flight. They did a hands-on activity where they had to combine efforts to get tennis balls from one bucket to another using only rope, and they could not touch the bucket. The last thing they did was a worksheet describing and comparing soft skills.
All ASL competitions are virtual this year. The first competition is in November. We're not having a Veterans Day assembly this year. We are showing a video made by our student council officers, and we'll be including slides with information about veterans in our community. We're also running our canned food drive from November 1st to the 30th.
The students and staff have been following all of the CDC guidelines, and our live stream technology has benefited both sports and marching band. The senior class has planned the spaghetti dinner night for November 3rd. It will only be takeout this year to help stop the spread of COVID.
Thank you.
Thank you, girls. And last is Meadville Area Middle School, Iris Andrecki and Evelyn McLeod.
Hi, I'm Iris Andreck, I'm an 8th grader at Meadville Area Middle School.
And I'm Evelyn McLeod, I'm an 8th grader at Mead Area Middle School.
Mr. Lynch and Mr. Fry would like to commend the students and faculty for their continued flexibility during this unusual school year. The students and faculty are doing a great job transitioning in and out of remote learning without missing a beat. Also, thanks to the students for wearing their masks and to the custodians for all their efforts to keep the building clean and safe.
Red Ribbon Week started today. Red Ribbon Week is dedicated to drug and alcohol awareness.
The Mammoth Cross Country team finished their season on Thursday, October 15th with a race against Cambridge Springs, where many of the Meadville runners ran their best times of the year on the home course. Despite the interruption to the season, this dedicated team of runners continued personal practices at home. As a team made up of 7th graders, next season looks promising, and we're hoping to increase our numbers. This team directly benefited from last year's elementary program, which was coordinated by Jason Franz and Josh Stone.
26 MAM students performed in the marching band show October 17th at Benner Field. 8 bands participated, and the band gave a great performance.
The Meadville Middle School football team played its second and final game of the season on October 15th. The Bulldogs lost to Oil City 28-14. Their final record is 1-1. Although the Bulldogs had a shortened season, they are eager to continue with winter and spring sports and are all more determined to continue a winning tradition next season.
Parent-teacher conferences are scheduled for November 5th. Conferences will happen via Zoom and phone calls.
End of first quarter will be November 5th. Second quarter begins November 6th.
The Mams girls basketball team is currently sporting a record of 4 wins and 4 losses. The girls are doing a great job staying focused and having a great time learning the game of basketball. Thank you.
Thank you, girl. Okay, we'll move on to approval of minutes. Be it resolved that the Board of School Directors of Crawford Central School District hereby approves the following minutes of the regular board meeting of September 28th, 2020, and the committee of a whole meeting of October 19th, 2020, and I need a motion. Jeff?
Second.
Thank you, Melissa. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We'll move on to committee reports, and first is Finance. Jeff Rhodes, please.
Resolved that the Board of School Directors of Crawford Central School District hereby approves the following financial activities: the Treasurer's Report for September, financial statements, and the payment of bills, and I so move.
And I need a second.
Second.
Who is that? I'm sorry.
Elwood.
Okay, Delwood, thank you. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
And separately, the payment of bills for Girardi LP, and I so move.
And I need a second.
Second.
Questions or comments?
I'm going to abstain from this due to
Okay.
conflict of interest.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries with 5 yeas and 1 abstention.
Resolved that the Board of School Directors of Crawford Central School District hereby approves the proposal to perform architectural engineering services facility study with HHSDR for the Instructional Support Center, and I so move.
And I need a second. Melissa? Thank you. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Resolved that the Board of School Directors of Crawford Central School District hereby approves Schedule L, budgetary transfers and amendments, and I so move.
And I need a second.
Second.
Gilwood? Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We'll move on to personnel. Be it resolved that the Board of School Directors of Crawford Central School District hereby approves the second and final readings of the revisions of the following district policies. 103, discrimination, Title IX, sexual harassment affecting students, and 104, discrimination, Title IX, sexual harassment affecting staff. And I need a motion. Jeff? Thank you. Second? Melissa? Thank you. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Be it resolved that the Board of School Directors of Crawford Central School District hereby approves the second and final reading of the repeal of the following district policies: 248 harassment pupils and 348 harassment employees. And I need a motion. Jeff? Second?
Second.
Elwood, thank you. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Be it resolved that the Board of School Directors of Crawford Central School District hereby approves the stipulation involving student A. And I need a motion. Jeff, thank you. Second?
Second.
Brian? Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Be it resolved that the Board of School Directors of Crawford Central School District hereby approves the following personnel schedules: A, C, D, E, G, H, I, and M, and I need a motion. Jeff, thank you. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Paula Jo. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. At this time, I will turn it over to Mr. Washington.
I have no comments.
And no comments? And to the public, any public to speak?
Just one.
Okay. Please state your name and
Okay,
where
is it
you're
okay if I come up here closer to the,
Sure.
thank you. I am Kathy Hoodman, and as we all know, I am the CCEA president. So I am here tonight, just once again, as a messenger for members that we represent. Last week, 3 students and/or staff members tested positive for COVID in Crawford Central. According to not only state guidelines, but the Crawford Central Health and Safety Plan, this means that, the affected buildings should close for 72 hours for deep cleaning, which was done. We acknowledge that, we appreciate that. However, on Friday, the Meadville Tribune reported 431 positive cases, and I do realize that is a cumulative total since March. That's what the paper has been reporting. But today, the Pennsylvania Department of Health reported 478 positive cases in Crawford County, which is an increase of 47 cases over 3 days. So once again, I am getting questions from many concerned members wanting to know if Crawford Central is going to transition to hybrid learning in response to the recent cases of COVID-19 in the school community. Our members do not take the repercussions of following the guidance to go to hybrid learning lightly. As I said way back in August, as educators, we want to be with our students in our schools, providing them with the best possible education. However, we do not want to put our health, the health of our students, or any of the families in our communities at risk. And I thank you for listening.
Any board comment?
I have a problem with this because I understand that you represent a community, but I don't know what percentage of the community you're speaking for. I don't know, I'd like to know what numbers we're looking at here, because it's easy for her to say she's a representative of, but I don't know who she's representing, So I'd like to have a survey of the teachers.
Well, Paul, I think, number one, let me stand up and respond. So what she reiterated was correct. The program that the governor put out with the moderate and all that good stuff, first of all, last week, as superintendents were advised it's being changed. Because, number one, it doesn't match the boots on the ground for school communities. It's talking about community spread, right? So there could be 11 cases in Titusville, but that doesn't mean we shut down Copperton. Okay? So it's talking about community spread. The governor and the Secretary of Health decided that they have to revamp that. And they've already talked about that being revamped. There's no doubt we don't want educators to be in harm. We don't want kids to be in harm. And I think they've been doing a fantastic job, including our nurses. They've been doing a fantastic job. We know where the spread is. We know where the spread is. So, certainly, and I believe I talked to Kathy Tuesday night, and I said, I was meeting with the superintendents of Crawford County, that we were talking and having conversations. I believe I talked to you on Tuesday night, and I believe I talked to you on Tuesday night, saying, do we have to start looking at a different methodology? It doesn't happen overnight, because we have to do so many things to get ready to do that. So it's not that we're not listening and looking at the spread, we're on top of it. But at the same token, we have to be cognizant of all the things that take and go into place of all of this. I think that we have worked extremely hard with the teachers union to support staff and trying to meet the needs of everything. When they tell me something, I go out and I jump on it. I talk to principals, I talk to people. When I get a complaint, I try to track it down as much as I can so that we can try to change it. And I think anybody over there sitting over there will, if they can't attest to that, then I don't know if they're telling the truth. I try to be very responsive to you guys. I call you. When you ask a question, I try to answer. When you need a question answered, you call me, I try to answer. And I think that's how the relationship has gone. But I'm not going to stand here and say that we're not doing our jobs, because we're working extremely hard. Our administrators, our teachers, our support staff, our bus drivers, our cafeteria workers, these central administration people are working extremely hard. Here's the key. We're going to have to be flexible. Because you know why? That's how the virus rolls. We're going to have to be flexible. And not everything is going to be as it goes in black and white. We have to be flexible. But we are doing our best to keep these kids in school so that they can be educated, that you heard what they said, so that they can be involved with activities, so that they can be involved with clubs, that we can have our band shows, and we're doing our best to make sure that happens. I understand the angst of everybody. You don't think I experience it? My phone rings day in and day out. But there's time that we start to work together and do what's best for our kids and our staff. And if we have to shift, we're not ignoring that. That conversation is happening. But I think we need to start working together. And this trying to tear each other down, you guys know that this is not me. And you know this is not me. So if I'm standing up here talking to you this way, you know I'm upset. We have to start working together to do what's best for our kids. That's all I have to say, Madam President.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, then with no further comments, I resolve that there being no further business, this meeting is adjourned at 5:49 p.m. and I need a motion.
So moved, Jan.
Hey, Melissa, thank you. In a second?
Second.
Thank you, Paula Jo. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned.
We have an